Hey, what's good, everybody? Once again, it's your man Cigar Make with a Puff a Minute, man. We out here today. Got a real special guest with me today, man. This is my man. You know him as B at Illusione. This is my man Brian Motola. You know, and Brian, what's good with you, bro?
I'm back with the Puff a Minute, boys.
Man, it's so good to have you back.
It's been what, a year, man.
A year.
A year. It went by like that.
Exactly. In a crazy year at that. You know.
Did anything happen during the year when I didn't see you guys?
I can't remember. 2020 is blocked out in my mind forever, Brian. So,
I vaguely remember something.
Yeah, something happened.
Yeah. Let's just leave it at that. Yeah. Something happened.
But you know how we do on the Puff a Minute, man. Before we get started, we always talk about what we're smoking. You know, and again, with you being the man himself, man, you know, and you just blessed me with this CG4, man. Talk to us a little bit about the sticks that we got in front of us. Right?
So what you have there is a CG4 Candela. We make other Candelas. We make a Robusto, a Churchill, and a Lancero.
Yes.
And then we did that exclusive for a shop up in Idaho. And so not too many people have gotten it, you know. Okay. It's like I get the text message every once in a while.
I'm not getting you in any trouble.
No. No. But what'll happen is somebody will see it online and be like, hey, I'd really like that. And, you know, Candela's a special wrapper.
Absolutely.
In fact, I just did a whole 2-hour Zoom meeting with Dion and our Norwegian distributor on Candela alone. So right? I go to Dion, right, and I say, hey, man, we're going to do a Zoom meeting, but all they want to talk about is Candela, right? Wow. And he looks at me like I got 4 heads, right? Like, what the hell are we going to talk about Candela for 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
It was the most incredible Zoom meeting.
Wow.
You know, Candela's a tough wrapper. If you don't blend to it right, you end up, you know, like you're licking the bottom of a lawnmower. But if you do it right, you get fresh, bright, like a spring day when you just cut the grass.
Absolutely, man. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, this one right here is exquisite, bro. Like, it's wonderful. And I feel real special that you blessed me with this, you know, hard to find or limited edition stick right here, man. But this is awesome, bro.
Don't worry, I brought one for me too.
I hear you. So what you got going?
I'm smoking the F9, which I get asked a lot, what's your go-to stick, right? Like, what do you, if you're going to smoke Illusione, what are you going to smoke? Which is really hard because Dion makes some incredible cigars all throughout the portfolio. Absolutely. But I gravitate towards the F9, and what it is it's a size thing. It's a Lonsdale. Not a lot of people smoke Lonsdales, right? Like, if you look at what the data tells us, it's Robusto Toros and 6x60s. That's what everybody's smoking. Yeah. But for me, it's just a size thing. And see, I even have another one on deck just in case you know, I need to light another one. But that's my go-to stick. I love the original document blend. I love the size. I love a Corona Gorda too. Yeah. Let's face it, as I got older, my ring gauge got smaller. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Oh, did I say that on camera?
Don't worry, everybody says that's a personal problem. I'm like, yeah, it's just a fact, you know. When I was a younger man, I used to smoke big, fat ring gauges, you know. Right. And then, you know, what it takes is somebody to go, here, smoke this Lancero, right? And all of a sudden, like, because even though this is in the original document lines, which the best seller in that's the MJ12, right? Which is a 6x56. But when you start to go down to the smaller ring gauges, the flavor just opens up.
It does, man. You get so much pure flavor, man, when you go down to the small. I mean, I love a Lancero myself, bro. You know what I'm saying? The smaller that you go down, it's just, you know, when you're breaking them out all the time or what have you, man, it's sexy to be sitting up, you know, in a spot, man, with a 6x60, you know, and what have you. So, but nah, I love them as well.
Yeah. You know, everybody knows the gal on Instagram, Smokini, right? She's a Lancero smoker. So when you tell me you're a Lancero smoker, I know you're a cigar geek right away. Like, that's what I go. I go, you're a cigar geek. Yeah. Hands down, you're a cigar geek.
That's it, right?
Yeah. And that's how you know. That's how you can tell us, is by what ring gauge we smoke. You know, and then the other thing is people miss a lot of the nuances of cigars because they don't retrohale their cigars. Right, If you retrohale your cigars, you pick up a whole nother world.
See, now you guys are getting some real schooling right now, right? The education is this is the educational part of the show. Yeah, exactly. See.
Oh yeah, there we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
There it is. Demonstrated and all.
No, that's how you. That's a lot of cigar smokers that miss a lot of the nuances. Like I'm not one of those ones that can pick up, seaweed salad and dried squid and all that crap. I mean, I'm just a simple guy. What I do is I make an association to like, what does it remind me of? Like, because that's what the sense of smell is all about, right? Yeah. Is it brings you back. Like every time I light up a cigar, I think about my grandfather, right? I can picture him sitting there in his white shirt and his black pants, and his little spectacles, kind of like what you got on, And it just brings me right back. So when I smoke a cigar, it reminds me, like I was just in Honduras and I was smoking something and I said to this guy, you know what? Man, this reminds me of birthday cake. And he looked at me, he's like, which one? Which birthday cake? I'm like, the one with the frosting. But what it was is it had this creaminess to it with this real dark features with this creamy, finish. And it was like a chocolate cake with frosting. That's what I thought of. Right? That's me, right? That's how I do it. That's how my mind works.
Well, I find that very interesting, right? Because everyone tries to adhere to the same adjectives all the time when they're describing a cigar. And I always tell people, smoke what you like.
That's right.
That's really what it comes down to. There's no, this is, what you should smoke or this is what you shouldn't smoke, because everybody has a different flavor palette, right? And everybody, like for you, it reminded you of a birthday cake. A cigar should take you back to something.
To something, right.
You know what I'm saying? And it should always take you back. That's why I always say it's a miniature vacation. And every time I light one of these bad boys, man, and I'm sitting back and I'm relaxing, and I'm enjoying my stick and puff a minute,
It should take you away.
Take you away, right?
Somewhere.
Away from the nonsense, the craziness. Away from 2020, right?
Well, and that's why we like to call it a cigar journey, right?
Exactly.
And really what we're delivering when we make cigars is we're not delivering a cigar, we're delivering an experience that'll take you on a journey.
Yes.
Right? And it'll bring you someplace. And it's real funny how the sense of smell can transcend you back somewhere, right? Like I was dating a gal and she put mothballs with my leather jacket for my bike.
Sure.
And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? I don't want it to smell like my grandmother's closet, right?
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, bam, there I was in my grandmother's house, and I'm like, oh, this wasn't that bad. But I still don't want my jacket smelling that way. But
she was messing with you, bro.
She got no. She had to go. The mothballs, that's it. Just pushed her out the door. You're gone.
Straw, right?
Yeah.
Can't get beyond that, man. So talk to me a little bit about 2020 and the impact that it had. We know it had an overall impact on the industry, but on Illusione, in itself.
So, look, when this whole thing went down, I was in Miami, and people said the word that I'm not going to say because I'm so tired of it.
Yes.
But they said the word, and I'm like, what the hell is that, right? Like, I'm in Miami traveling, I don't watch the news, I don't have television or anything. So I Google it real quick, and I'm like, ooh, this might be bad, so I got to get on a plane. So I went to go change my flight, and normally the airlines are like, it's $250 to change your flight. They're like, whatever we can do to help you. And I'm like, what is it, like the aliens take over the world? What happened?
It's a brand new
Anything
world.
we can do to help you get home. And I was like, what world am I in? Am I in an alternate universe? So anyway, so I get back, and then what as business leaders, our job is to see what's in front of what's in front of.
Exactly.
Nobody saw this coming, right? So, like, if they told you they saw it coming, they were lying to you, right? Because nobody saw this. So you have to sit back and figure out, like, what is this going to do? Like, how's this going to impact us? The biggest thing it did for me is I wasn't out on the road, and that's where I love to be, right?
Sure, yeah.
Because that's where, I hadn't seen you in a year,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Normally, in a regular year, I'll see you at PCA, TPE, Rocky Mountain, and then occasionally I'll make a visit down here. I may see you 5 times a year.
Exactly. Yeah.
I went a whole year without seeing you, so that's the tragedy that was for me personally.
Right.
But for Illusione, we real quick saw what was going to happen, right? I went to Dion and I said, here's what's going to happen. Everybody's going to be staying at home and they're going to smoke more.
Yeah. True story.
They're going to smoke more.
Exactly.
Because if there's one thing history has taught us is that people smoke more and drink more when things are good and when things are bad.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
I was just telling a business school graduates that very thing. I introduced myself and I said, you know, my name is Brian Motola. I'm director of U.S. and international sales for a cigar company. And you could just see their eyes like, and I said, yeah, that's right. I'm in the sin business.
Yeah.
And let me tell you why. Because sin business, they don't care about economic times. They thrive.
Yeah.
So what we saw immediately is that people were going to be at home, working from home,
Yeah.
and the guy that maybe was 2 sticks a week now all of a sudden became 3 a day. Right? Yeah, we're all guilty of it, right? Like, I smoked like a fiend before, and then I'm thinking, holy smokes, what's going to happen to me? And, you know, I increased my cigar smoking.
You know what's funny, man? While you take a sip right there, is I was literally probably about a 2 stick a week type of guy, right? Except for when we went to those conventions that you mentioned, and during those conventions, I would smoke like a chimney, right? from beginning to end, all day long. I'm like cigar after cigar after cigar. What happened was, once everything hit, everything became like a convention at my house. Because like you said, I'm working from home, right? I'll go outside, take a smoke break or what have you. I come back in, I have another one. So now instead of 2 a week, I'm going through 2 or 3 sticks a day, right? Which is like, if you would have saw how my, humidor got depleted, bro, in a matter of months, it was ridiculous.
That happened to everybody. I had 2 sticks in my humidor.
Yeah.
I'm like, what happened? I'm in the cigar business. I got 2 cigars in my house.
Exactly.
Right? Like, I'm like, that'll get me through the next 3 hours,
There you go.
So we saw that right away. And then the other thing that happened that we saw after the fact, 2020 hindsight though, is we saw that, like, friends were going to get together like at their house because, the whole go out to a bar wasn't happening, but you got to have your friends over to the house.
Sure.
And then you'd have your friend over that doesn't smoke, and you're sitting out there on your patio smoking, and all of a sudden he goes, hey, let me try one of those, and bang, you got hooked. So we saw a lot of new smokers come into the cigar industry last year, which was really good, because as an industry we were expanding faster than our consumer base, which is really bad. And 2020 allowed some new smokers to enter in, and we know from talking to shops, they're like, yeah, I saw a lot of new faces. Yeah. So that was cool.
So hold on, funny personal story. Okay?
Yeah.
So in, I want to say July, my son went in the Army, right? So he goes through boot camp and all of that, and then he's in school. So one day I'm talking to him, I'm FaceTiming him, and I see he's holding something kind of low, what have you, and I'm like, man, what's that you have there? And he pulls it up, and he's got one of these, I'm not even going to say the brand, but one of these cheap, short filler,
yeah.
Right? And I'm sitting there like, yo, what is that, man? I kind of got a little upset. I'm like, dude, you can't smoke that. Your dad is Cigar Mint. Like, when are you coming home? So when he came home on leave, around the Christmas holidays, he got turned on, he and I sitting in the backyard enjoying some good quality cigars. Now he's calling me up like, Dad, when can you send me something this or send me something like that? So again, new people coming into the culture.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what it's all about, is expanding the culture, expanding the community. And so, we saw that happening. And then, make sure you tell them about Cigars for Warrior, because it's a great program. I mean, that's a really great program. Even though we're a little bit hindered now as to how much we can donate to them and how we can, we still make a way to happen. But that's a great program.
Yeah, and apuffaminute, we've been supporting Cigars for Warriors.
It's a great program.
For years now. So
it's great. The guys are great.
Yeah, I agree. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I mean, other than after about 3 months of being in Reno, you ever been to the zoo and you see the lions right when they know they're about to be fed and they're pacing back and forth? Sure. That was me in Reno. I was like, I got to get out of here. So then, I wasn't allowed to travel. But I figured out a way around it. I'm like, I'm going to go on vacation. Okay. Right? And so I would take a little vacation. And if I happen to run into my cigar rep in that particular market, I happen to run into him. We got to go see some stores and smoke some cigars. Exactly. So I started doing that. Hey, I'm going on education.
Sure.
And yeah, it was just an interesting year, and we're in a little micro boom right now for cigars. I mean, we're starting to see it, and what's happening on the supply side of cigars is it's really tough to move anything, whether it's a cigar, this piece of paper from point A to point B is really difficult because, you know, the flights aren't there. There's like today there were 2 nonstop flights from Reno to Vegas.
Okay.
2. There used to be 4 or 5. There were 2.
Yeah.
So moving product is really tough right now.
Okay.
Because with the lack of commercial flights, everybody went down to the containers on boats, and there's no space, and there's no containers, there's no nothing. So we're starting to see a little pressure on the supply side of cigars.
How has that impacted like tariffs and taxes and things of that nature?
You know, tariffs and taxes haven't changed, but the cost to move stuff has skyrocketed.
Distribution.
Yeah, to get something from Nicaragua to Miami, or in our case to the port of Oakland, it like doubled overnight.
Wow.
You know, just doubled overnight. So, you know, I mean, it's a cost of doing business. We got to get stuff in. Exactly. In March, we moved into a new warehouse in Reno at Illusione, and we created a foreign trade zone, so that helped us a little bit offset and defer some of the taxes and duties by having the foreign trade zone. So we ship stuff in, and then it doesn't enter the U.S. until it gets shipped out to our retail partners.
Gotcha.
So,
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, that helped.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, 2020 was just a good year to get stuff done, and you know, my wife left me in 2019 because I traveled too much.
Now you're over. See how that worked out? See how that worked out? It's funny, man.
She gone because I'm gone too much, and then 2020 comes, I'm like,
yeah.
You know. But yeah, all in all, it's good though. The brand's doing really well. We're getting Dion out there a little bit more on Instagram, doing some videos. We sat down with him and we said, hey, you know, no cigar brand owner does really reviews of his own sticks, right? Exactly. It's usually guys like yourself or some other people that do the reviews. So why don't you get on there and start talking about some of your cigars? And he did, and it's been received really well.
Yeah, I caught one of those reviews last week, man. I was very impressed.
Oh,
with it, man.
listening to the
Dion was a myth for many years, man. People didn't even
to a lot of people.
Yeah, that he really existed. So to see him, you know, coming on camera and talking about, you know, the brand and talking about the cigar and everything that went into its construction is really good.
See, he's always wanted the cigars to speak for themselves, which they do. I mean, the guy, hands down, you talk to anybody in the industry, they'll tell you he has the most exacting palate in the industry. It's incredible, right? The guy is incredible in that aspect. But, you know, to listen to him and hear him talk about cigars and tobacco is just amazing. Like I said, he did a Zoom meeting on just the Candela wrapper and how he approaches it and what he looks for, and right down to, you know, the whole fermentation process and the tensile strength of the leaves and everything. I mean, it was really interesting to hear him talk about tobacco. Was unbelievable. You know, I mean, like, he's forgotten more about tobacco than most people know. So to have him share some of that knowledge is really important, and that's what the community aspect of the cigar industry is all about too.
Yes,
you know,
and then, you know, and for us here in Las Vegas, and you know, or what have you, I think it's something to be said about Illusione being a Nevada, you know, brand. You know, and with Dion himself being from right here from the west side.
He's from Vegas.
Yeah, he's from Vegas. So
grew up in Vegas, moved to Reno in 1988, which is the significance of the 88 in our line. It's the year that he moved to Reno.
I love that. You know what? You just opened up something else. So the thing about Illusione is that nothing is to be taken for granted. There's a meaning in everything. You just said 88 is the year that Dion left Vegas and moved to Reno. Everything has a meaning. You know, explain that a little bit.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting, right? I've had people come to me and say, like, can we do a thing called Decoding Dion? And I'm like, you know, yeah, I mean, there's always something there. And then sometimes it's glaringly obvious and people don't recognize it. Like we have a line called Fum de Amor, and all the cigars are named after cities in California. Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's right there in front of you, but you're trying to read into it going, no, there's got to be a hidden meaning. There's more to it, right? Well, it turns out that his family lived in those areas, so that's the attachment. And then we have a line called garagiste. Now, garagiste, if you translate literally in French, it means mechanic, right? But garagiste is a whole society of winemakers. They make craft wine, real artisan wines, high-end wines in their garages. Right?
Yeah.
So that was his kind of tribute to them. But if you just look at the word and translate it on Google, you're going to go, mechanic, what the hell is this, right? But it's a tribute to the winemaking culture that exists that are called garagistes.
So I actually researched that one, right? And I realized that. But you just helped me out, garagiste. I always said garagiste, bro.
Garagiste.
So yeah.
Well, you know, people call our line. Well, look at Illusione.
Yeah.
I get asked the question: is it Illusione? Is it Illusione?
Right.
Which one is it? And I just look at them and I go, yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. No, that's it. You're right. And they're like, well, which one is it?
Brand recognition, baby.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
So yeah, I mean, he always has a little bit of thought into what he's naming his cigars and how he goes about it.
Yeah.
You know, like the one-off we didn't name, right? That was a brand that was released in 2004.
Okay.
But it kind of fit our persona because the one-off logo, everybody thinks is a peace sign, right?
Yeah.
And in fact, when that cigar first came out, like in 04, everybody was going, what's up with this peace sign cigar? But it's not a peace sign. It's actually an airplane, because the guy who started the brand was an airline executive, right?
Okay.
So it kind of fit, like, is it really, what is it? No, it's not. It's not really what you're looking at.
It adds to the mystery.
It adds to the mystique,
The mystique of Illusione. I think my first introduction was the MJ12.
Right.
Obviously.
I think I sent them to you, didn't I?
Yeah. It was from you, actually. Yeah. And again, that's something else I want to talk about, man. I was going to get to is that you've been a supporter, a friend, a brother, of Apuffaminute, man, from day one. From the day that you first reached out to me on Instagram, man, to all of the
well, I know we've told this story before, but here's the thing. I met you all, and a couple of times in your life it happens where you like somebody immediately, right? I took to you guys right away. But then it wasn't until like about 6 months later we were in another shop in Vegas and we were talking that we found out we grew up in the same neighborhood in New Jersey.
Jersey's in the building, bro. And again, a lot of folks may not get that, you know what I'm saying? But if you are, born, raised, and reared in New York, in New Jersey, up, North Jersey area, what have you, Patterson and Arcadia.
Yeah. I was born in Patterson.
You were born in Patterson. Barnet Hospital and St. Joe's, was it?
I was born in, St. Joe's.
St. Joe's, exactly.
Yeah.
So again, when when cigars could bring two brothers from another mother together,
But like, what are the odds that happens, right? Like, so I think when we found that out, we were both dumbfounded. We were like, how's that possible? Like, we knew some of the same people, some of the same places. The best rippers on the planet are from Jersey. I mean, you go to Rutt's Hut or Johnny and Angel's.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, cheap plug for the hot dogs in
for
Jersey.
The hot dog joints, man.
Well, here's the thing about Jersey, too, that people don't realize is some of the best tomatoes come out of Jersey. And the corn.
Well, again, that's why it's called the Garden State, bro.
Yeah, no, people don't realize that.
Don't get that. Exactly.
No, but that's the way it was with us. I met you guys.
Yeah.
First of all, I love the name. The name is like off the chart, right? And we're pretty cool at naming stuff at Illusione, but the name just like blew me away. I was like, I gotta know these guys, right? Like, seriously, I gotta know who Apuffaminute is, right?
Yeah.
Like, I love it, right? And so I really, just liked you guys from the minute I met you, and that doesn't happen that often in life, and so the relationship that we've had, I really cherish, and it's a shame we haven't seen each other in a year.
Yeah, but this is great right now.
But we're here now. We're going to turn Vegas upside down tonight.
Absolutely, we got an event this afternoon down at Cork and Thorn and stuff like that. So we're definitely going to come out, man. We're going to set up the VIP tent, introduce you to, you know, some of the cigar community that's out here in Las Vegas. You know, and you know, take it from there, brother.
And the best part is, I have no idea where we're going. It's the best part.
Blind trust, people.
Yeah,
blind
that's trust. It. Blind trust. Just get in the car, and you're going to take me somewhere.
There you go.
You know, I mean, I think they stopped burying people in the desert a long time ago out here.
They're building condos out there.
They're building condos.
It's all good, man. Well, Brian, look, man, it's been an absolute pleasure. Oh, wait. You got you talked about the one-off, but you got a special one-off there, man. Let's pitch this one a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So I got the one-off plus 53. Now, again, in the style of Illusione, all I'm going to tell you about the blend in that particular cigar is that if you needed to make a phone call to Cuba right now, you got to put in your phone plus 53.
Say no more.
Yeah.
Right, let y'all figure it out. It's the mystique.
I don't know. Did he say that? No, he didn't really say that. I'm not sure what he said.
Exactly.
But anyway, that's the whole thing behind that, and we're going to be, I think we're going to raffle off. I think we decided it's a 10-count box. We're going to raffle off maybe 7 sticks because we're probably going to smoke 3 of them.
I agree. Yeah, I like that. I like those odds, but
it might be 5 by the end of the night.
Right.
We're raffling off 5.
We'll raffle off a few of them, but we're definitely going to smoke some of these today.
Did you ever see the movie The End with Burt Reynolds?
I don't think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the ending scene of The End, and I know we're getting down to the end here, so we'll tell an ending story.
Okay.
The end of the end with Burt Reynolds, he's out in the ocean trying to kill himself, and then he decides he wants to live, so he starts swimming back to shore, and he starts negotiating with God. If I make it, I'll donate 50% of my salary. And then the closer he gets, how about 35%? You know, and then he gets even closer, and he's like, how about 10%? How about we just call it even? You know, as he gets. So that might be how we're doing the raffle tonight. We might raffle 3.
There you go.
2.
That's
I don't
a premium stick right there, right? It's about $30 a stick retail.
Retail about $30. Yeah.
So if we raffle off 2 of those, we're doing good. No?
And we're gonna smoke the rest because I mean, that's what cigars were made for, right?
Exactly.
Cigars were made for smoking, and I mean, it's funny when you see these guys that collect and hang on to cigars. It's like, man, smoke them. Just smoke them and enjoy them.
There you go.
That they weren't made to be tucked away in your humidor. Yeah, age some stuff out, but but it's smoking and enjoy it. And to your point, smoke what you enjoy.
Yes.
That's the key. It's like wine. Drink what you like. People
like,
say
man.
red or white. What do you like?
Yeah. Whether it's some $75 or bottle or $800 bottle of wine, or if it's a $2 chuck, bro. What do you like?
What do you like?
Yeah.
I mean, when I don't drink anymore, but when I was drinking, nothing gave me greater pleasure than finding a $10 bottle of wine that was just the bomb.
Awesome.
And it's like, you can drink your whatever over there. I'm perfectly good right here.
Exactly.
So yeah, cigars. And that's the thing, right? Everybody says, like, what do you, when you're not smoking Illusione, what do you smoke? And I rattle off a bunch of brands, and they look at me like shocked, like, yeah, come on, man. We got to take a journey, and there's a lot of cigars along that journey. All we ask is that you stop once in a while in the port of Illusione and enjoy a little, maybe the plus 53.
There you go.
I don't know. Maybe the MJ12. Now, you want to talk real quick about the MJ12 and how it got its name?
I love it, yeah. I researched it, but let's let our viewers know.
So the MJ12 was the Majestic 12. They wrote the 1949 Roswell papers on UFOs, which don't really exist, or do they? We're not sure.
We don't know.
There's the thing, we don't know.
Exactly.
And then we have the MK Ultra, which I have in my pocket. Let me see if I can pull it out. Oh, no, that ain't it. There it is. I got the MK Ultra. Again, notice the size, right? This is, I got nothing but small cigars in my pocket. That's what she said. We might as well end where we started. But the MK Ultra project, I could tell you about it, but I think if you go and research it a little bit, you'll be surprised as to what the MK Ultra project is. It will make you go, whoa.
That's a whole episode in and of.
That's a whole nother episode. Yeah, maybe we'll come back. We'll do Decoding Dion. We'll do a little. We'll smoke some of the cigars too that we're decoding.
I love it, man. I love it. Well, okay, guys. Well, listen, man. It's been a hot one. You definitely want to share this one. You definitely want to get out there and take stop over in the port of Illusione on your cigar journey. I love the way that he just poetically put that out there, guys. But absolutely, man, this is one of the finest brands that's out there, man. It's quality from end to end. I love Illusione. Is literally my favorite brand, and I just go ahead and put that out there. Sorry, everybody else, but I'm gonna let you know this is literally my go-to is Illusione. So definitely want to encourage you guys to get out there. If you're not smoking Illusione, if you're a shop owner, you got some terra firma out there, and you're not stocking this brand, this is the guy you want to reach out to. All right, again, on Instagram, be at Illusione. All right, you want to find this man and reach out to him, man. So that's what it's about. Brian, again, brother, I thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
We're gonna get out here and tear this city up a little bit from this point on. I want to shout out to Cigar Banker, who's behind the camera right now, helping us out right now, my man. That's what we do. All right. But other than that, guys, listen. Remember, stay focused. All right. Keep up with apuffaminute, because we're going to be bringing you all the details of Cigar Week. All right. That's coming up here in Las Vegas. All right. So again, we're going to be bringing you guys the information. We're going to tell you the spots that you need to go to, the places you need to go, the people you need to see. You're going to find all that information by simply just continuing to follow apuffaminute. We thank you. We appreciate you. All right. We'll see you next week.
Apuffaminute, baby.
There it is.